Happy
Thursday.
Thursday. Happy? We happy today?
We're something. We're here. And I guess that's step one, isn't it?
That is definitely step one. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Live from Rabs, from inside Rabs Country Lanes. Today, we're back. The last time you saw Nazareth and I, we were sitting in a hair salon.
Correct, we were.
And I was getting my hair dyed pink.
You were.
How'd that work out?
It's not, very little pink is left.
It's more white, blonde, gray, a little tint of pink.
A little of everything right now.
For sure. The natives are very, very restless today, as are we. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks, and of course, a crazy 24 hours. Not even
24 hours.
Not even 24 hours. So thanks for tuning in with us today. We plan to come to you weekly. You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we've had some stuff going on.
Why is it just Thursdays though for us?
I don't know. Thursday's the day.
Thursday is, and it's funny because a few weeks ago we were telling you that we had replaced a server in the office. Well, then last Thursday we replaced it.
Of course.
So
it went out on a Thursday. It got replaced on a
Thursday morning. Which the good part about it, it was all came to us, no problems.
Yes.
Up and running. Thank you to our friend Pat Bono for
Aurora Computers, lifesaver.
A lifesaver. He says, "What time do you want to meet?" I said, "Well, it has to be before we open." He goes, "I'll see you at 6 a.m." And sure enough, here we were, taking care of that. And so thank you to Pat, and we're up and running. Little issues here and there, but it's just Thursday. It just happens to be Thursday.
It's Thursday. You know, I think if we picked any day, then we would actually realize that every day is a show.
Yeah.
And I won't say what kind.
Yeah.
But every day ends up being a lot going on. And I just see Ronnie just checked in, and I want to say a belated Happy Veterans Day to Ronnie. And thank you for your service.
And to all of our veterans.
And to all of our veterans.
Happy Veterans Day. It was a rainy, gross day yesterday. Again, now that was Wednesday. Now I was shockingly that gross day, well, it's kind of gross out today.
But it's going to be, it's going to clear up. It's clearing up as we speak.
Well, Linda, we've missed you too, and you and everyone else is certainly our favorite part of our COVID shutdown, which I'm not even putting it in the universe, but I don't know what we're expecting.
No. Don't put it in the universe.
It's bad enough. And happy belated birthday to our co-host,
yes.
Joe Calandrillo.
Yes.
He's not watching, but he'll be watching later because he's actually working.
Happy belated birthday.
So
one of my favorites.
A couple of other things that happened in the last couple weeks. So you guys were awesome. We had shared that for the fourth year in a row, we were nominated by the .nyc, which is the official, what do they call themselves? The official web address for New Yorkers. So businesses that have .nyc web addresses is basically celebrating small businesses in the interweb space. 4 years we were nominated. 3 years in a row we were
knocking on the door.
So close. And this year we pulled in a win. So thank you to you for your support and voting for us. And here we are. This is the little award that we got for
it's very nice.
2020 Best of Staten Island. So we appreciate your support. And it was a virtual event, which was certainly different than the events we've attended in the past. And it came with a cash prize, so couldn't come at a better time, although the cash prize wasn't in the form of a check or cash. I haven't figured out how we're going to spend 5 Visa gift cards, but we'll figure it out.
We'll find a way.
We definitely have lots of bills to pay, especially now. Election day came and went. We dyed my hair pink, came and went. We were recognized and won this fantastic award. And election day came and went, and the other day I show up to work. Did you see this?
No, I saw it on your desk.
Okay. I showed up to work, and these were all over my desk. There were more of them. in my drawers.
Somebody is trying to give you a hint.
Just because I put the notepad up front. But they say Wilkinson 2024. Now, I don't know what that means.
You know what it means.
No, I don't know what it means. It could be anything.
Okay. All right.
It could be anything.
We'll play stupid. Okay.
I think it's crazy. I thought it was funny. But I came to work, so I don't know which one of you were having fun the other night. I have a feeling I know who's here. But no, thank you. Where is JB? JB was last with us for the Rob Wilkinson Cup.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And it was wonderful having him on.
Yeah, and you catch him and Joe live every Monday night.
It's hard for him to split his duties. He's so busy. I mean, he already has one telecast commitment, and we wouldn't want to stress him.
Well, we were concerned about splitting the ratings.
We are still concerned about splitting the ratings.
Yes, and we're both on now once a week. We don't compete with him
But
on a Monday.
no, we don't. So I think we should feed into each other very nicely.
So for those that don't know what we're talking about, our Scratch Draft League goes live every Monday night prior to bowling, and some of the production team is here who make that happen, and they talk to different bowlers every week.
It's very interesting. They have a really good show. But Joe and Joe, I like that. JB and JC are really super knowledgeable sports fans. So, and they have different takes on sports and participants, and I think they are the perfect combination of Joe Cal with the pure sports knowledge and JB's very interesting take on things. He's very, very funny.
We could do a show dedicated to JB and just talk about JB.
We could have a little JB love fest.
And I said that production team is here, and so yes, Tony Everts, I know Matt Koplowitz retired from the position. Kenny Soto, they're the best cameraman in the business. Here we don't have a person; we have a stand that handles our production. So thank you to stand one.
Because we should actually one day we will feature camera one, cameraman. During COVID, we had no choice. We were going to ask someone to come in and expose themselves or bring their germs into the building.
No, I think we were more about taking outside. We created a bubble during this 5-month shutdown, and we were concerned about bringing other people in into that bubble.
We're very closed.
Naz, I have to say, so are you more comfortable in this setup today?
I like the high chair, yes, and the high table, yes, I am.
I know we both really didn't like.
I don't like, it's just not comfortable. But this is good.
We have a little less space, but it's okay.
It's okay. You have a lot of paraphernalia.
I do. I know. You
today,
didn't grab your stuff
I have
today.
no stuff. I have no bobbleheads or.
We'll have to redecorate.
Yeah, sometime in the future.
We've been using the party rooms a little bit here and there, so they got some use.
Right. That's good.
And no, Koplowitz doesn't get a pension because he quit. Thank you for.
He should have thought that out a little bit more.
And yes, Melissa, the dark hair is growing in. Ken pointed out that the show is between the hours of 9 and 9:30, which now we know there will be a slight change to the production time. So stay tuned on the production time for live Draft League.
Yeah, let's
Voodoo dolls.
Let's
Voodoo
talk about
dolls?
the elephant in the room.
Voodoo dolls,
Yes. Yeah. Listen, I can't blame Cuomo. So once we get into discussion, you'll learn my unpopular take on what's going on. But so Frank, tell us what we heard yesterday afternoon.
So yesterday we get a message that during Cuomo's Veterans Day, which could have been,
he is ramping up.
He had a great opportunity to just do a nice thing yesterday, just honor our veterans. People were off, enjoyed the day off, and then boom, here we are. Now, not just Staten Island, but hotspots have popped up all over the state. And this is the decision that came down yesterday is irrelevant to the hot spots, but as a direct result of the spike in cases going up. So as a result of that, we also have this other situation. So he announced yesterday that any facility that holds a liquor license in the state of New York has to shut down at 10 p.m. every night starting Friday. So what that means, that also he specifically laid out, it includes bars, restaurants, gyms, bowling alleys.
Right. Gyms, not because they have a
Liquor
liquor
license.
license, but because they are a space where people gather.
But this time, instead of, so what they did, I will say,
I think
I want to give him a little, not for the decision, but
No,
the
well,
credit.
no, because
He gets a little credit because now they've had, and you've heard, we've been very consistent here on this. Hey, in the beginning, we made very hastily decisions, everyone, and this is territory that we have no clue, know nothing about. Here we are today, we've probably spent a little bit more, we are spending more time understanding. So the decision, when they say they're using the carrot and the verbiage of liquor license holders as the overall umbrella, and anybody that falls under, because before they were getting in trouble with just saying
singling
bars
out.
and restaurants. So if you remember, in the beginning, they kept saying bars and restaurants, and we didn't know if that included us. Well, here we are. Anybody that holds a liquor license falls under the case of this rule of having to shut down at 10 p.m. Now, in other parts of the country, this is already the case. 10 p.m. happens to be a marker. In New York prior, right today, it's midnight for indoor and 11 p.m. for outdoor. So that time has just moved to 10 p.m. for all indoor activity. Now, what does that mean? Alcohol kills everything, drink more. I somewhat believe that. I mean, sometimes alcohol cures alcohol. What that means for us is a lot. Nazareth spent a lot of time yesterday really looking at the schedule and saying, hey, this affects 50% of our business here at RAPS. So because of how we're operating with this double shift of leagues, using every other pair and every other lane, it really does affect 50% of our business.
I think it's more than 50%.
And essentially, at minimum, 50%. And even more so as we get into the holiday season.
Correct.
This now scares off people who are looking to do parties and events, which we were doing. Anthony, the rule has nothing to do with just the bar and concession. They can't tell a gym that they have to close at 10 p.m. and say that the bowling alley can be. Now, of course, for us, we would love for them to say that. We would love, hey, keep the bowling alley open. But it doesn't make any business sense or any sense to say the gym has to close at 10 and we could stay open.
It's because of the reasoning.
Right.
The original reasoning for closing bars and restaurants was the serving of alcohol, they felt, reduced people's ability to maintain social distancing, keep their mask on. So they cut them first. Then they realized that even in other places, there were social distancing problems.
Yeah, they don't want people, and it comes down to congregation. They don't want people congregating.
congregate.
So after 10 p.m., what happens? Now, listen, we've said this in the beginning, nothing good happens after 12. And so that's fine. The 12 o'clock thing we could support. If everybody does their part, it's not a problem.
This
Now,
is
listen,
the problem.
Our environment is different. Do we have issues both ways? Yes, we have issues here. We're mask police. We're constantly reminding people to put their mask on. They get, especially with food and beverage, they get very comfortable with getting up from their table and not remembering to put their mask on. So I will say, last night wasn't so bad. I felt like because we were opening up this picture of what's going on, maybe people
because
thinking twice.
there are people who are a little bit worried. I mean, obviously, you drive past any testing facility on Staten Island, I know, there are lines that are hours long. So people are worried now. And for people that are saying that they don't know anybody who has COVID or anybody that's been out sick from COVID, be happy. You should pray that you continue that way, because I am currently communicating with somebody who has COVID. She's a young person and she's really sick, and she feels terrible because she's gotten other people in her family sick. So yeah, it's nice to be able to keep it at an arm's length while you can, but it's not, it's here, people. Whether you know it or not, it's here. And whether you know somebody or not, it's here. And the fact that people can be flip about wearing masks or it's just not right. And until we do those small steps, big steps have to occur.
Well, yeah, so
It's unfortunate.
we have to say 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and that's kind of what's happened here, right? We really were, and this wasn't 3 steps back. This is, I'm not going to start saying, but this is 1 step back. We were making really good progress. Numbers have come down. However, as a result of that, people getting very comfortable, and I'm not just talking about our business. I'm just talking in general.
Oh, everywhere.
People being a little too comfortable with going out, being around people without masks, and so hey, do I want to wear a mask? No.
No.
Do we all feel it's annoying? Absolutely. Does anybody have to tell someone to wear a mask? No. I believe many people, everybody in our community has been affected in some way, shape, or form. You may not know someone directly, but you, I said, Jen, I wasn't gonna start singing. But you may not know someone directly that has COVID, but through the 7 degrees of separation, you certainly know someone. And I do agree with Anthony. In many communities, for the most part, the compliance is pretty good in our community. We're very lucky. Hillary, I totally understand your point. It's a bowling alley with a bar, not a bar with a bowling alley. So the primary purpose of the building is to be a bowling alley. Well, that is necessarily true. However, it's not that simple because we are so many different things to so many different people.
And you know what? It's not about the drinking. I mean, the drinking is one component of what they're trying to state.
It's people being together.
It's the congregating of people, which is exactly why they're asking you to try to even keep your home gatherings small. Because they put it very well this morning. So when you think about inviting people into your home, you have no problem. Your family, your close family that you know is fine. Every time you invite an outsider into your home, you're inviting them and everybody they've been around in 72 hours. Now, if you feel comfortable that those people are doing the right thing and washing their hands, not touching their face, that's fine. But I mean, that's a deep thought. And
well, yeah, and everybody will make that decision for themselves. No different than what happens today. No different than people making the decision saying, "Hey, I'm ready to bowl." Right?
Yeah.
Back to September when we got the green light to open, we were making phone calls, and all of you who are regular bowlers know you had a decision to make. Hey, I need to get out of in some cases it was I'm getting out of the house. I don't care. I need to be out.
Correct.
Hey, I'm comfortable as long as people are wearing their masks. Wonderful. In the beginning, you couldn't drink beer. A lot of you were upset about that. And then here we are.
And then we got past that hurdle.
We got past that hurdle. You could eat and drink inside. Wonderful. And here we are. And you know what? As I will tell you, you should have faith. And I have to say, I'm very proud of our team here. We had 2 health inspections on Monday.
Yep.
Actually, 2 inspections. I can't say specific health inspections.
They weren't really.
One happened to be an agent of the health department. And I don't even know what agency the other one was from. However, they both said, well, this place is too clean. I said, well, that's wonderful. They commended the work that the staff is doing. They commended what we've done. And so you've heard us say it. We don't want to be the reason that any other business is going to close. So we're going to do what we can.
Yep.
Do I agree with some of this? Absolutely not. Do I agree that we have to shutting down 2 hours later versus shutting down at 2 hours earlier? No, I don't. However, it's the reality of what we're dealing with.
So, and the other point, and Brandon is asking why did they not close earlier? Because then he might as well just close us.
Yeah.
And I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to keep the businesses viable where they can, but let's just avoid the point where people might get a little slack in compliance. So let's keep it earlier. The businesses still have an opportunity to make money. And I don't understand why I see this argument all the time. And people will say, what, COVID comes out at 10 o'clock? What he's trying to do is keep businesses so that they can make some sort of money. If they really wanted to, and listen, God forbid, I hope it doesn't, but if these steps do not point us in the right direction, that could eventually.
Well, yeah, so essentially, they don't know how big, so Brandon, to answer the second part of that, they don't know our business model. They don't, there's no thought, they don't understand how, and every bowling center throughout the state is very different. So they don't really look at that. They're not looking at, oh, your league business is this. They don't care.
They don't.
No different than a restaurant who hosts meetings for service clubs every week. They don't care about that.
Right.
It's just the point being that, hey, and Hillary makes a good point, the more people refuse to comply, the longer that this lasts.
Absolutely.
Listen, I will say, this will cripple business. This is
Absolutely.
This business alone, we're already operating at 25%. We are now cutting at minimum of 50% of our business. So, okay, what does that mean? Well, less people working less hours.
Yeah.
Now, what does that also mean? Okay, well, less revenue because you can't drive any additional revenue during the time that you're open.
Right, because now you've cramped what customers you had into that time
frame, and now we have to take it the next step. So in response to all of this, the current situation, we don't want people not bowling. So, and this has been since day one. That's why some of our leagues, now not all of you, I'm thinking about all the nights that you guys bowl. On Monday nights, those that bowl in the Scratch League, the league was directly affected by our start time. We used to start at 8:30 at night. We went back to our 9:30 start time, which we used to have on Wednesday nights. And 8:30 certainly was more palatable.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we're not going to tell the league they can't bowl. We don't want the league not to bowl. That's not fair to them, because why would it be okay for others? Now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have leagues bowling in shifts.
Yes.
So half the league bowls at 6:15, 6:20. The
Yeah.
second half bowls at 9:15, 9:30. And then you have, on a Tuesday night, there's a 9:30, some of you that bowl in the 9:30 league
Yep.
are actually not really affected because you're still bowling at your regular time. Actually, you're bowling 15 minutes earlier than you normally would.
Yes.
Those that bowl on Sundays, not directly affected. Your league is still bowling at the regular time. Friday's
not effective.
Sadly, we lost a lot of teams on Friday to not have the,
Although
Have
I
a double
have
shift.
recently gotten 3 inquiries of teams that wanted to come back.
people were certainly ready to come back for the
Yeah.
second half. And that was a lot of part of the conversation. It's,
Yeah.
we'll come back the second half, things might be better. And again, we don't know. We're still today hoping. January comes along, after the fall and winter, the end of the fall, beginning of the winter happens, we might be in a better place. And call it a vaccine, whatever you want to call it. If we have something, it might make people feel a little bit more comfortable.
Right.
If they have more access.
Right.
So the challenge that we have, and Nancy, you bring up a good point. However, this predominantly is our busiest time of the year, the fall to the end of the winter. So when we went from a 48
It's our
lane bowling,
busiest time for open bowling.
open bowling and everything.
Yeah.
So right now, the issue that we have with shutting down at 10 p.m., our open bowling business becomes
Push.
is gone. It's
Right.
almost gone, because now we're going to accommodate our league business, which is a big core of our business. However, we still need the open play business because that's business that we need to operate and pay the bills. So we went from a 48 lane bowling center to a 24 lane bowling center using every other lane or every other pair. That's 25%. It's not 50%. It is 25%. However you do the math, it's still, no matter how many people you put on a lane, we're still operating at 25%. So now that 25% has been cut in half. So on a Wednesday night, where we would be able to have open bowling at 9:30, well, that no longer exists. Thursday night, 9:30, open bowling no longer exists. Friday and Saturday, our bread and butter at 9:30, 10 o'clock. Now, you guys bowl on Fridays, after you leave. Nancy, you were in the business. What happens on Saturday, Friday night? It's the weekend. People want to go out.
Yeah.
And so we no longer have the families, the couples, the teenagers that are going out for the weekends,
Yeah.
because that business is completely gone. And that's a huge bar. That's bar revenue, that's food. I mean, that's
Which feeds
that's big
everything.
deal for
People
us.
think that bar revenue stays in bar revenue, but everything feeds everything.
Mhm.
So, that bar revenue, while somebody like me who bowls and doesn't drink might go, yeah, it's bar revenue, it doesn't affect, it affects you. It affects the general funding of the business.
Yeah, because it's all legacy.
Everything.
So parties, events, and groups, we don't,
Everything.
even in today's environment, we don't have a regular day. Now, today's a little different. So Thursday, we have an afternoon ladies league that's bowling.
We have a group of the Coast Guard.
Oh, the Coast Guard's here today. But this is typically empty, which we normally would have. Our day have programs around the Mark, a very special place,
Yes.
lifestyles for the disabled. They come in and they have programs in the afternoon. Well, we no longer have that because they can't operate those programs in this environment. Now, some of them are because their families are comfortable with them going out. However, 100% have to agree. So, and that's just, I mean, I'm just simplifying it.
Right.
So it's a challenge. And so does that weekend night business, does some of it fall to the daytime because now I can't go bowling at night?
Right.
I can't
Well,
do my
some of
usual thing.
it, the majority, you would think of free time that those people would have is gonna fall to weekends.
Right.
Is gonna fall
But
to
are they free in
weekends.
the weekend day? Are they willing to not go out at Friday night at 10 o'clock? Now, think about when we all go to dinner.
Right.
If I'm not bowling, that's my night out. So you
Yep.
know what, Naz, let's go for dinner. And it's gonna be on a Friday night, what time?
Yeah, it's gonna be 8 o'clock.
It's not gonna be 6, 7. Now, this is gonna change people's habits again, which the restaurants are directly affected, of course. I think that they have the percentage of people going out to
Well,
dinner
it's gonna
after
affect.
10 o'clock is much smaller.
I-
But it depends, it's
Right.
the bar crowd that it affects.
I think it's gonna affect too how many times they're able to turn tables.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, now that
And-
90-minute limit thing will be up. We don't really have that here. We have a couple of restaurants that are pushing the 90-minute limit. I believe this is going to propel.
and so now when you think about it, you know, it's gonna be, God, we used to go out, when we go out with my group of friends, we sit in a restaurant we're there for a good 3 hours. I mean, we do drink a lot. And, but think about it, they're not gonna want us sitting at a table that is legitimately probably 3 parties, because we're 12 at least when we go out. You know, that's, you know.
Well, now you can't do that.
Now that's gonna put them, you know, in a, well, you know, can I get anything else? So it really, this is difficult. And I'm just asking people, please, that we said from the beginning.
Yeah,
Wear your mask, wash your face, wash your hands, and don't touch your face.
where it directly affects the restaurant, you can't have more than 4 people at a table at this point. So now,
Right.
now if we're a group of 8, I bet you we'll be next to each other, right? Maybe we'll just put space between
Correct.
the tables. However, it makes you think twice. So now that revenue, to your point, of that 12 group
It's gonna
party,
change.
are you guys even gonna
Things
go out?
change.
You're not even gonna go out.
Yeah, we're not. We
You're gonna wait.
probably won't. We're
You'll
gonna wait.
But and so outdoor dining rules are different than indoor dining rules. And so this is not just about the bowling center. This is about business as a whole,
Yeah.
where if you really look at how this impacts, it's not just a 10 p.m. shutdown. It's the whole picture.
Right, it changes
So-
the whole, it really, it jumbles everything
Yeah,
around.
so Christine, the answer to your question is yes, we will be open. We just have now a modified hours of operation. So starting Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Now, the solution, because we haven't talked about
Wouldn't it
this.
be great if we could just say, you know what, we have to close a few hours earlier. We'll open a few hours later. People would flock in at like, to bowl
Close
at
and
6
reopen?
o'clock in the
Oh,
morning.
yeah. So, this isn't, nothing's perfect in this mind. And I will tell you, New York's not alone now. So we talked about this last week when Governor Murphy made the changes to the state of New Jersey. I had a fear that this was going to happen to us to some extent. Nebraska, our friends at Nebraska just went through this. They went from a 50% to a 25% decrease. So they now have to operate the way that we were already operating with shifts of league play. Now, depending on the size of their business, they're in the same boat that we're in today. So we want everybody to be able to bowl. Leagues will continue. However, you'll have a modified schedule. So
Do you wanna
Yeah,
get
go
into
for
that? Okay, so the way that we've come up with to be able to appease leagues and be able to be compliant with the closing time is that leagues are you're basically going to be bowling every other week except Friday, Sunday, and our once a month. What we're able to do the plan, now this is the plan, we are still reaching out to the league officers, and they in turn have to reach out to the bowlers. But what will happen on Monday is 1 week, the draft league will bowl, and it looks like we're gonna bowl, we take pretty much 2 hours to be done, 2 hours and less to be done. So, we're projecting that we will start at 8 o'clock on Monday nights, every other week. And on the opposing week will be Colonial Funeral Home Ladies and Holy Spirit Men. So those two will flip-flop week to week. And the Colonial Ladies and Holy Spirit Men will bowl at the same time. Their same starting time currently. Yeah, so that'll double the problems that you have right now.
Yeah, Nancy, that might not fix the problem. The problem might not be solved. It only, to Nancy's point, it might double because that business would be just having the same issue. Although, I have to laugh, we discovered that we have 62 lanes now.
Yes, it was a slight little glitch in the
Glitch in the software this week.
software.
And all of a sudden, we had people bowling up to lane 62, which that would have solved all of our problems.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? So if we find out, and Anthony, to address that, I know it's a little bit early for the draft league. If we can get off the lanes at 10 o'clock, there would be no problem pushing it to 8:10, as long as we're off the lanes at 10.
Oh, yeah, and there is, we believe, right? So
Right, we
what we're
fit-
not sure about, this is the little, we're trying to get some clarification. So in the current environment with the 11 and 12 o'clock shutdown, you have a little leeway. So we shut down at 12 o'clock. If we still have people in the building at 12 that are finishing up, just finishing some drinks and bowling, they could stay till 12:30. The curfew is not a hard 11 or
Right.
12 o'clock curfew. So essentially, we believe the same is to be true at the 10 o'clock, not a hard 10. So essentially, even if, like on Monday, we could potentially 8:15, we have a little room. We don't want to go past that because we really don't want to push the envelope and have people around and out and about after that time. So we're going to have to evaluate the time frame. We need to accommodate everyone. We only have 24 lanes, so 24 lanes to use only goes so far when we have full houses of leagues almost every night. So it's the only other way is, I mean, if a 6:30 league wanted to come and bowl at 4 o'clock, which doesn't even work because we have existing business at 4 o'clock.
So to move forward, so Michael, what would you suggest I do to the other leagues that are bowling on Monday night? Tell them that they don't bowl for 3 weeks in a row. I'm
Right.
just tossing that out there to you.
Right.
I invite an answer.
We need to
that.
make this as fair as possible for everyone. So so now that's Monday.
Monday. On Tuesday is a special situation. We have one league that's bowling in a double shift with 18 teams, and then we have a ladies league that bowls at the same time, and then we have a league that bowls at 9:15. So what's going to happen on Tuesdays is that league, that league will continue to bowl with a split. What they would do is, let's say in week 1, their shift 1 would bowl, and then next to them, am I explaining it right?
Yes. So the
And
league
then
bowling
next to them
shifts-
will be the ladies.
Right.
And then on the next week will be that league's shift 2 and Massarola. So that men's league will have teams bowling every Tuesday, but it'll be a half the league and then the other half of the league. So now the reason that we can't do it the way we're doing it on the other nights is because there's just not enough room to fit the teams the right way. So
the easiest is that you're bowling every other week.
the easiest,
The easiest, you're bowling every other week.
correct.
So like what Naz is saying is that, so the Tuesday men's league, shift 1 every other week, shift 2 every other week. The ladies every other week, the 9:30 league every other week. Obviously not at 9:30, it would have to be an earlier
Right, and
time.
Anthony, we will talk to you about the start time of that 9:30 league, Anthony Barbario, and we'll try to push it as late as we can for you, as long as they're done at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, Michael, we're not really a shorter season. We are still a 36-week season league that has 3/3. So we also have to take into effect a league bowling 3 weeks in a row, and the other league not bowling for 3 weeks and coming back. What's on the other side of that? Does somebody not come back? There are things that affects otherwise. It also affects the food and bar revenue. So the revenue for you guys bowling on one night versus the other, we have to take all of that into equation and make this as easy and fair as possible. So we really are trying to stick with this similar situation.
Right, and it also helps because on the, let's just say on a Monday, when the Holy Spirit and the ladies are bowling, we will have a couple of pairs open.
Right.
So what we would like to do is try to schedule something in there or leave that available for open bowling. And we like to be able to schedule that every other week instead of 3 weeks on and then it's just easier scheduling.
And Nancy, good suggestion. So we're in the process of looking at a membership,
which we're practicing on
a membership. That would alleviate that. And at the same time, this season more propels it so that if you're not bowling every week, you still can come in and practice for those that are available to come and practice, because that's the other challenge. Now the open bowling situation is we have less lanes to use for open play. So if you're available during the day and if we could make it more appealing that you could come practice, wonderful. But then if you can bowl at night, okay, great, but we're still really limited at that point. Jason asks a good question. So, and everybody, this is so funny.
He's up.
Everybody comes to the same question. Hey, what about the end of the year? We need to worry about today. Now, yes, everybody, we have 36-week schedules. In the current, we don't know how long this is going to last. So let's say these limited hours only lasts 4 to 8 weeks. Now, in the past, they've only lasted, 6 weeks at most. So
Yes.
This isn't the first time we've had a curfew.
Right.
The curfews haven't lasted for a long period of time. If within 4 weeks, more people get tested, the numbers come back down below 3%. If we have a spike, I think that we've come so far, we might not have that 5 to 8% spike that they're talking about. In my personal opinion, I hope not, because now more people are getting tested. So the more people that get tested, more negative tests. So if we could stay within this and not jump above it, then it's possible that sooner the curfew could be lifted. So at the moment, we're talking about extending the season. However, we don't know what that looks like.
We have no idea.
So we're really trying to keep, at the moment, we are thinking ahead because it potentially means that the season would get shorter. Now, for every league, that's going to mean something.
Or as we spoke about last year, when the season potentially at that point actually ended, but when it was potentially ending, we did talk about like extending the season further into, where you would end in May, maybe you'll end in June.
Right.
But again, while we do have that in our overall planning, we're hoping that this is a short-lived, like a short-lived curfew, and that we're able to get back on track. And then, we investigate.
Yeah, and so we don't have, during the week at night, there's no other option for leagues to bowl other times because there aren't enough lanes. We don't have enough lanes to be able to say at nighttime for a league to bowl. So half of the league to bowl on Mondays and half to bowl on Wednesdays. That's not an option. It doesn't work. We need those little holes to be able to put other folks as well.
Yeah, we don't. And somebody mentioned Sunday morning. Actually, on Sunday morning, we
don't have enough lanes available.
Yeah, we don't. We already have a league there on Sunday morning. And we definitely have things booked, I know, on Sunday morning.
So we've looked at, we've been, since the beginning of all this, we've been looking at the schedules to try to maximize the league schedule situation. In some leagues, we had a couple leagues that came to us, hey, we'll bowl some on Wednesday and we'll bowl on Sunday.
Absolutely.
If that worked, now we really have to be careful with how we schedule. So every other week schedule is, we don't believe it's going to be for long. We don't want it to be for long because it's not going to work. But we're going to do it to the best of our ability. It's going to be a little confusing. There is a point, as made earlier, make sure, if you caught that, our Friday night and Sunday night leagues are not affected by this.
Or the once a month.
So if you bowl once a month.
Well, the once a months are only affected as far as starting time.
Right. They'll actually, right now they're starting 8:30. They'll start a little bit sooner because they take a little bit longer to bowl. So the once a month league will start earlier if you bowl a Saturday in one of the Saturday night once a month. If you bowl Friday nights or Sunday, you're bowling every week.
Right.
There's no change to your schedule because we have the leagues available, nothing's changing. So it's the leagues that bowl Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
And so to go
that are
on to Wednesday we have, currently we have the Mismates League, the Men's League, and we have another league that's starting next week. So on alternating weeks, the Mismates will bowl 1 week, the full league at their 6:20 starting time. And on the opposing week, the Men's League and the new league will bowl. They're bowling once a month. So that'll be how that will go. On Thursday, we have on let's say the first week will be American Legion all bowling at one time at a regular start time, 6:20. And then on the opposing week, we will have the Thursday Transplant Mixed, and the Splits League will be bowling on the opposing weeks. So they'll alternate. Friday's unaffected. Saturday, the once a month leagues, we're bumping their time up a little bit earlier, and no daytime leagues are affected.
Yeah, so this only changes the night league schedule. So
And this goes into effect
tomorrow,
Friday. And Chris, just what you did say something, if people don't get tested, will not have a spike. I'm going to tell you it's the opposite, because the majority of people are negative. And if the more people that get tested, the more the results will show negative results, and the spike will go down. And I'm not saying that's a false reading. What I'm saying is it will reflect truly what's going on in our neighborhoods. So, get tested. If you think you've been exposed, if you don't feel well, if you're concerned, get tested. The more negative results we have, the more those numbers will drop. So that's just my 2 cents about that. There's a lot of misconceptions, but it's difficult. I mean, the last couple of weeks we've been, inundated with so many differing messages and so polarized when, it's pretty simple. Wear your mask, socially distance, wash your hands.
It really does.
Wash your hands and don't touch your face. And if we all did that, we would have probably been well past this.
Sure.
But we can't play well with others.
So while we explained it, it still probably doesn't make sense to you. And so we're doing the best that we can.
Yeah.
This afternoon after the show, we'll be together. And so if you check out our website, check out the update on our blog, there'll be the list of all the changes. We'll also post it here on Facebook to show what it looks like. Your individual league schedules, as far as your statistics that you look at leaguesecretary.com, will also be updated with the appropriate dates. So give us a little time.
That might take a week.
Yeah.
So give us some time with that.
We will have this schedule, the basic schedule of what it looks like,
Yes.
on our website, and then from the next step, your schedule's up online. That takes us a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And none of us really like our masks. And in some cases, I'd rather look at somebody with their mask on than
I honestly, this is kind of funny, but I actually like my mask because when I go food shopping and the music is on, I can just sing as loud as I want and nobody knows where it's coming from. So I'm walking through it. Well, now I just gave up my spot.
I like it too, because now with whatever color hair I have these days,
Oh yeah, a lot of people
I
don't recognize
really
you.
don't get recognized as fast. The day one, and so if you followed the Pink Hair Project, I post updates, and the first one's last week after I walked into Starbucks, and I walked in about 10 feet, and she goes, "Oh shit, Frank, is that you?" She didn't recognize me, but I had to go. Typically, I pick it up outside, but the mobile ordering was off, so I had to go inside. And as I'm pulling up, and I can't order online, 5 minutes before, I'm getting pissed off because now I'm thinking, oh, great, of all days for me to have to go in a store online, I look ridiculous.
You didn't look ridiculous. I told you that. It was the first thing I said
I
to
look
you.
ridiculous.
And I think I said those exact words. it doesn't look ridiculous, or it doesn't look stupid, whatever I said.
Go
But
back.
it doesn't. I
2
mean,
weeks
he
ago,
carried it
we
off
won.
very well.
So yes, tonight bowling as usual. Next week
Yes.
starts the schedule for those bowling on Thursday, Friday, tomorrow night. You're not affected. Saturday night, not affected at this point. The one just an earlier start time. The real change happens Monday. For our schedule, it's Monday. For those of you that come for open recreational play, know that 10 p.m. is now our shutdown time. If you've been making reservations online, the schedule's already been changed, so you could make a reservation up to 9 p.m. We do have to go in and block out some additional availability with this new change. So if you're coming into practice, we always recommend making an online reservation. It helps us, it helps you.
It helps you get on the lane a little bit quicker.
Contactless at the front counter. For those that are seniors, for a discount, you can plug that in online. That discount, there's a campaign code, and it's senior20. And of course, we verify that you are of age when you arrive, but you can do that if you make an online reservation. The only thing you can't do on your online reservation is apply bowling rewards credit. So if you have a rewards card, you have credits, you can't apply them when you do the reservation online.
But you could do that when you come in.
You could do, you can earn them.
Right.
You can earn them, but we
That's what I'm
can't
saying.
credit them
Earn
because
it,
you're
right.
paying. So for future, you could always just call and make a reservation. So we really, reservations has been very helpful for us, and we believe it's been helpful for you. You guys have been great to tell us that. But this whole league thing for now, we're hoping 4-6 weeks at most,
Tops.
but we don't know. So we do want you to stay tuned.
And I want to thank everybody for their questions here and giving us an opportunity to address your concerns and get through some of the things that we know are filtering through the telephone game. And some of it incorrect and some of it,
Some of it's correct,
maybe
some
a
is not
little misguided.
But that's why we're here. This is why we do this. We were doing this daily. We started, then we took a couple days off, and so here we're weekly. We were supposed to be on last week with our friend Pam Silvestri, and then our little change. But Pam will be back. She's excited. She did go live for the first time this morning, and then she's been live on the SI Live, Staten Island Advance. Nancy, no comment on that one. She's been live on the Staten Island Advance Facebook page. So Pam will be back maybe next week. We're working it out. But we will, as we've been saying, we're going to get through this together. This is another change. Again, a few steps forward, a step back. Challenging for sure, but we really appreciate your continued support.
Yes.
You guys have not only just as our regular customers come in, but through this medium, as Nana said, just even asking questions is wonderful. So that's why we do this. We're here. If you have any questions, concerns, always stop in the office or a phone call away, an email, a text message, because most of you know how to find us anyway.
Yeah, people are very good at tracking us.
Yeah, so listen, we were really doing well, and so we knew that 50% indoor dining wasn't coming anytime soon. Sadly, we know those restrictions won't change.
Right.
So one day at a time for sure. And do I want to be bowling every other week? No, not at all, because it's not the same. So for now, we're gonna keep on keeping on to the best of our ability.
And listen, we know how important this place is, not only to the 3 families that have businesses here, but to the community. So we take this really seriously, and when we hear news like this, obviously our first thought is, how does it affect everybody around us? And then secondarily, it's like, oh shit. So this is important to us, and
You heard that? Naz dropped an S-bomb.
yeah, I did.
That might be.
It's not my. I don't think it's my first.
I dropped 2 F-bombs in 131 episodes. I think that's correct. 131 episodes. Or is this 130? Is this supposed to be 132?
I thought we were 131 last time.
You know what? I don't remember. But I might
I don't think it
might
makes a
have to
difference.
correct this.
You're gonna have to
Doesn't
go.
matter. We've
You're
been
gonna
here.
go in there.
I think it's 132. I think our caption's wrong. But 132 episodes later, here we are. 80 whatever days we're back open. So yeah, it's going to look a little different.
I mean, listen,
along
I
the way.
don't think we didn't expect some bumps along the road, you know? And this is, honestly, everything's been moving forward pretty much through this time, not maybe as quickly as we like. And this is kind of our first step backward, but they've been warning us, you know, at least in the back of my head knew this was going to happen. And, well, I felt like they warned from the beginning that this time of year was going to be the worst. So, you know, I always had in the back of my head, you know, just have to be prepared. And, you know, hopefully we are, and hopefully we, you know, we'll get through this.
Oh no, I know I dropped one. I've dropped the F-bomb on this twice. But if you remember, go back to the beginning, Kelly Kulick
Was the first.
to drop one, but it was the C word.
Yeah, I was going to say she didn't.
It was
well,
crap.
Yeah,
It's
not,
crap.
yeah, it wasn't.
Which is my niece and nephew's favorite word these days.
Well, you know, when your kids are all about the poops and the farts and they think that
Oh, they
stuff
love
is so
crap.
funny.
They just love that word.
Yeah.
And then lately now it's the tables off for glasses. And so now they giggle. No different than when I FaceTimed Alexandra for the first time, both Alexandra and Thomas, to show them my hair. She did nothing but belly giggle the whole time. Speaking of before, because by the time we see us, God knows what this is going to look like next week. Kudos to and thanks to you and our staff, we've raised over $8,300.
Oh, soon to be a little bit more.
So our goal was $10,000. Our goal was $5,000 to get us to do it. We had surpassed that last two Thursdays ago when we made this happen. Here we are, $8,300 later. I still have somewhat pink hair. It's growing on me, like physically, but it's growing on me. So
I would like to officially, the Rabs Girls on Tuesday night raised $412, and Country Pro Shop would like to match that and round it up to a even thousand.
check that out. So now
You're at 93.
$9,300, closer to that $10,000 mark. And so of course that link is on this page somewhere. So if you wanted to donate to the campaign,
$700.
and yes, Rob, your 7 p.m. start time is good for Sunday. So you guys are not affected. You guys are in pretty good shape.
We're not happy about that either, I hate to say.
I said that very hesitantly. I'm like, it's great for them, but
Right.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
easy. It makes things easier on that particular day, but we'd rather much be scrambling all 7 days. You know, it would mean that we had that many people, but listen, we're thankful for what we have. We're blessed, and we're sitting here, and, you know, we're moving on.
And quick, before we let you guys go today, the calendar hasn't really changed much. So Thanksgiving's coming around the corner. Lots to be thankful for, regardless of what's going on, and regardless of how many people you want to put in your homes. I didn't upload it. I should. My meme of the day was, it's a picture of a window, and look who's coming for Thanksgiving dinner, and there's Cuomo's eyes in the window.
Oh, I saw that.
Staring.
That was actually funny.
That is
He's
funny.
actually peeking over the windowsill like this.
Yeah. Actually, I think I can get it
It is
before
funny.
we depart.
And I hate, my
I just think it's funny.
dream Thanksgiving, and I mean, I've seen 100 Pinterests of it, has always been having Thanksgiving outside. Obviously, where we live, it's not really feasible most of the time, but having that beautiful outdoor setting on a big table for Thanksgiving.
We've had some really nice.
We've had a
Thanksgiving.
couple.
All right, so here it is, the meme of the day, coming to a Thanksgiving near you. I do find that funny. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just funny.
I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of people that don't like him, and I think he's doing not a terrible job with a terribly crappy situation.
Two of them today.
But I think, I want to say the other word, shitty situation.
So, on the event side, so
Yeah, we got
Thanksgiving,
stuff going on.
we have our Thanksgiving leftovers, adult child. So,
On
we have your niece,
Thanksgiving
nephew, a
weekend.
youth bowler. It's that weekend. I would love to have you bowl. It's no tap. It's a fun opportunity to just bowl. And then We started an awesome tradition last year where we lit up this beautiful Christmas tree outside of our building. And so that will happen in some way, shape, or form. We have obviously now even more so, our permit to close the street hasn't been approved because you can't have events. But we're moving forward with some sort of event in this space. So that'll be
Maybe we'll do a virtual one.
Sunday, November 29th, right after Thanksgiving. So stay tuned for details. That's an opportunity to be a part of that in different ways.
What are they
So,
doing for the Rockefeller Center?
I don't know, but they picked the tree.
I heard about
read the whole
that
story.
today.
I always look to see where the tree came from. And I think that's
Oneonta,
pretty
I
cool.
think.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So the tree has been picked. I'm sure they're doing it no different than the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which is happening.
Yes.
They're doing it similar to what they did for 4th of July. They're
Yes.
filming pieces of it on different days and then piecing it together, and then there'll be some pop-up things.
I like that. I actually like that idea where they did little
They still,
pop-up
they
things
did it.
in
That was
different, yeah.
That was
yeah.
the key. They still were able to do it, and so
Yes.
hopefully, that's something to have some glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, the holiday. I can't believe we're saying it's the holidays. are gonna
When
be
I
next.
did that schedule last night for the league schedule of how they would pan out, and I put those holidays in, and I'm like, well, 6 weeks from now is Christmas Eve.
That's scary. Imagine.
6 weeks. That is a blink of an eye.
It really is.
And in COVID times, it's half a blink. So. It's a socially distant blink.
Socially distant.
With your hands nowhere near your face.
Well, listen. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for watching. Reminder: please be like Harry. Wear your mask. If you go out in public, wear your mask. Don't touch your face. Wash your hands all the time. We'll be here. Rabs is open 9 a.m. to now 10 p.m. Stay tuned to bulletrabs.com and our Facebook page here for the latest league schedule as a result of what Nazareth ran through for you today. Again, different environments. It'll look and feel a little bit differently, but you know what? We're doing the best that we can. And so, again, we can't do it without you. But be safe. Stay healthy. Get tested at this point. At this point, I think, you know what, we kept saying, don't get tested. Don't even bother unless you have symptoms or you've been around someone. But at this point,
Because
it might be a better.
it was a lot more limited, and you really
that line
wanted
is huge.
to.
So
They wanted to keep the test for people who were really experiencing symptoms. Now you can get tested anywhere. I mean, so go get tested.
yeah, but
You know,
the only fallacy is just because you get tested today.
doesn't mean that you don't walk out and
Correct.
you're negative.
So
Or you know,
And just
it
because you-
takes
right.
72 hours really sometimes before the test will show positive. But if you're worried, if you think you've been exposed, don't hesitate. Go and get tested. I mean, there's nothing wrong.
it's free.
It's free. It doesn't cost you anything.
The insurance will pay for it.
It's the process itself is very quick and relatively painless. I mean, I've had both the tests done, and the one that goes up there is not good, but it's over in moments.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's not
It's not ideal, but it's not terrible.
exactly.
All right. Well, we will see you next Thursday. Well, we'll see you all here during the week. So we'll see
Yes.
you. But we'll see you right here on Facebook Live from Rabs next Thursday. Next Thursday.
Yeah, no, it's the week after.
Thanksgiving's 2 weeks. I was like, wait a second. We're not doing this next Thursday. Next Thursday, 12 o'clock, right here, live from Rabs. Nazareth and I will be here, maybe with a special guest. You never know. And hopefully we have better news to report. But stay tuned. We'll see you then. See you during the week, Naz.
That was awesome.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.